Peace. Peace. The brother asked me in the comment section, I ain't no slave. I ain't no slave. Prove it to me that I'm a slave. So I'm gonna name this title The Slave Theater. God damn it. It's the Slave Theater where all the radical slaves come. The Nat Turner, the Denmark Vesey, the Khalid Muhammads, the Fred Hamptons, the Harriet Tubmans, all the radical slaves come here. He said, I ain't a slave. I said, I can break it down to you how you're a slave from when the time you wake up in the morning to the time you go to sleep. I said, when you first wake up, first thing you go for is your phone, your cell phone. So that makes you a slave to that cell phone. Oh, it's just my phone. I gotta keep time. Okay. So you just admitted that you're a slave to your phone. But first thing you do before you brush your teeth and wash your face is grab your phone. Then you say, how does that make me a slave? Because God damn it, you pay your bill. You pay your monthly bill to your provider every month. That makes you a slave to your cell phone when you paying your provider every month. Show me that you don't pay your phone bill every month and that you're your own provider, and then I can eliminate that. Until then, you're a slave to your cell phone. All right? That's one. Two, you're a slave to your toothpaste and your soap, washing your face. You gotta go to the store to get the products, so you spending currency at the store. So that makes you a slave to that store. Okay? We ain't even get outside yet to show you how you become a slave outside your home. But you're in your home, you're a slave. You pay your electric bill every month to a provider. That provider is your master, because if you don't pay your master, he most definitely gonna cut your lights off. Your electric most definitely going out. You're a slave to your water, because you got to wash up in the mornings. You gotta wash your dishes. And as they say, wash your ass. Alright, so you're a slave to the water bill, because you gotta pay that water bill every month. You see what I'm saying? You gotta pay that water bill every month to your provider. So that makes you a slave to your water bill. We ain't even leave out the house yet. Then when you go downstairs to prepare your meal, you're a slave to the food that you're about to make, because you had to go to the market to get the food. See? See that? See how you're a slave in every aspect of your life? Everything you do, you're a slave. You're a slave to watching television. You're a slave to social media. You gotta log into your social media accounts to see what you missed. Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, You're a slave. See that? I ain't a slave. I'm just looking at the different videos that's on there. It makes you a slave. Makes your eyeballs a slave to the corruption you see on social media. See what I'm saying? So that's how you're a slave in your everyday life. You're a slave. You ain't even leave out the house yet. And once you leave out the house, I'll show you more of how you're a slave. About when you get to your car. About to start your car up in the morning. Do you own a car? Or are you making payments on the car? Huh? Do you own a car? Or are you making payments on the car? See that? See how that works? In your everyday life, you're a slave. You got car insurance, right? Who you paying your car insurance to? Huh? You got to register your car. Who you registering your car with every year or every 2 years? Who you going to get your car inspected? Who you going to get your car worked on? Oil changes, tune-ups. So the definition of you being a slave, you have to admit that you're a slave before you can start the process of taking off them shackles. Hold on. So that's the question I popped, y'all. When I say you're a slave, you're a slave. To your insurance, your registration, getting your car worked on every day or every other week. I ain't even include the gas prices. I told y'all that yesterday. That's that new slave. That gas slave. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even pull off in your car yet. and I just proved to you that you're a slave from the time you get up, from the time you get in your car. Right? You ain't even pull off yet because you got to adjust that dial on that radio. Certain stations you listen to that makes you a slave to those stations you listen to. You see what I'm saying? Makes you a slave to the radio station that you listen to. Right? Right or wrong? I told you the title of this video is The Slave Theater. And I'm proving to you that you're a slave in your everyday life. From the time you get up, from the time you go to sleep. Morning, brother. All right. See how that worked? I know a lot of y'all still don't want to admit it. You're on your way to the plantation when you pull off from in front of your house. Or is it your house because you paying rent, right? To your landlord that makes you a slave, right? Are you paying taxes every year? That makes you a slave, right? Then you off on your way to the plantation, which is work, your job, right? You gotta clock in the morning, right? They gotta keep time of your clock, right? From the time you come in on the plantation, from the time you leave off the plantation. You gotta clock in. Then we dealing with numbers. Hayes Street here, y'all. Then we dealing with numbers. You can be on the plantation for 8 to 12 hours a day on the plantation. Right? I get it. You still not a slave, right? And I'm gonna prove it to you some more. Because when you're on the plantation and they say, okay, you either get a half hour or an hour lunch break, you take it, right? Huh? I'm just proving to you that you're a slave in your everyday aspect on life. All of us, not just blacks, whites, Puerto Rican, Chinese. So when they say, oh, slavery was in the past, no, it's not. Slavery is active and it's booming 24 hours a day in these corners of North America, right? I'm just proving to the young man that said he wasn't a slave in this North America world of the white man. Before that, it was all about the pandemic. He was a slave to that. Prove me wrong. I'll wait. Prove me wrong. So now that Mr. Charlie said y'all can come outside, I look at everybody different now, especially the ones that think they on a pedestal and they doing more than the next person. And in reality, we all doing the same, right? They made some of us line up and take that jab, right? You was a slave to election, right? And everything you do, you're a slave. Everything you do in life, you're a slave. Black, white, Chinese, Puerto Rican, Mexican, all of us. Ain't no one man above the crew. See that? See how that work? And once you admit that you're a slave, you can start the process of deprogramming. What's your name? Who name do you got? Is it a slave name? Huh? I'm just showing you, young fella, that you're a slave. You're going to always be a slave as long as you're alive in these four corners of North America. There's no way out of it. See that? You're a slave to getting haircuts. You're a slave to going and buy clothes. You're a slave to go and buy sneakers. You're a slave in everything you do. All right, so I just wanted to shoot a video to show the young man that said, I'm not a slave. Prove it to me that I'm a slave. I just proved it to you in different forms. You see that? And with that being said, until the next time, peace.